As we get closer and closer to NVIDIA announcing the RTX 5090, that's probably going to be announced at CES 2025, which is in January, so we're pretty close, not that far. What about the pricing? Like, a lot of things are being thrown around online right now. And to be clear, nobody knows what the final pricing is because even NVIDIA may not know. They could alter it and change it at the very last minute, depending on if something pops up. Who knows what their reasoning is, but nobody really knows the pricing. Let's discuss the rumors that are out there, the counter rumors, and what I think with, just putting things together, most likely the 5090 and the other GPUs as well for 50 series will cost. So the 5090, the highest rumor that we've seen is about $2499. Now, that's pretty high. Let's take a look at the facts that we know. The 4090 is $1599 MSRP. So we have to analyze this based on the fact that could NVIDIA do this with that GPU? It's very simple. The 4090 seems to be one of the best-selling GPUs of RTX 40 series, even at that high price. Because remember, it's not only gamers that wanted that GPU or still want that GPU, it's content creators, anybody who does like video editing, and of course machine learning, AI, 3D graphics work. Like, basically the list is endless for people that would want the 4090. 24 gigabytes of VRAM. It's basically also a workstation class GPU, not only a gaming product. That's why it's been so popular. I remember when it came out at my local Micro Center, they sold out of the 4090s. That never happened with the 4080 and other GPUs like that, which sold very, very slowly because they're more targeted at gamers and their price to performance was kind of iffy. So what does that tell us? That tells us that NVIDIA most likely knows that its flagship GPU will sell. And now let's hear a word from our sponsor, VIP-CDKdeals.com, a Windows Pro CD key. Add to cart, you put in code CC20. This will also work on Windows 11. You want to go into your settings in Windows, change and adjust your CD key, click activate, and now let's go back to the video. That means that something like the 4090, which was the base MSRP for $1599, really was rarely found at that price. The Founders Edition usually would sell out very, very quickly. And then the third-party AIB partner GPUs, like from Asus and MSI, those typically ranged up to $2,000, some of them even going over $2,000, like something like an Asus Strix, which would be over $2,000. But a lot of the 4090's life, you could say the average is probably like $1,800 to $2,100. So NVIDIA already knows that people are willing to pay for that. When we looked at the RTX 5090 specs, they seem pretty insane if the rumors and leaks are any indication. It looks like an absolute monster GPU that we've never seen before. 32 gigabytes of VRAM and it's GDDR7, so it's faster, more efficient. It's going to have tons of bandwidth, so pretty incredible GPU. With those type of specs, it almost looks like a Titan GPU, which means once again, it's going to be very attractive to not only gamers who want the best, but also content creators, 3D graphics, machine learning, AI, whatever a workstation can do, this guy will surely be able to do it if, of course, if the software allows, because some software is tied to a particular data center GPU or something like that. But overall, this is going to be a very powerful GPU. $2,499, $2,500. I mean, we've seen the 4090s almost reach that price, like third-party AIB models, but it'd be something else for the base MSRP to be $2,499, because that would mean that we're likely to see $3,000 5090s, because then the AIB partners are naturally going to be even more expensive than that, than whatever they get the base MSRP from NVIDIA. So $2,499, it seems kind of expensive. Of course, I don't know if it's going to make sense even for NVIDIA. Now, there were counter rumors saying that they didn't think that this GPU was going to be, in fact, this much more expensive than the 4090. It was only going to be maybe a little bit more. I can definitely see it being more reasonable, like $1999, somewhere in between the 4090 and this sort of really high pricing. And I think potentially NVIDIA may even throw out there for people to pick up as rumors or these leaks, a high number like $24.99, and then everybody's expecting it, and then all of a sudden they come in at a lower number and everybody seems to be happy and the product seems to have sort of better value, if that makes any sense. I know that AMD did this, like when the 7900 XTX launched at $999, that price seemed pretty good compared, of course, to the 4080, which was $1199 at that time before the super refresh. So it's definitely a strategy. And remember, NVIDIA is selling more data center GPUs than it can make, but it still needs to keep the gamer market happy, and that's a completely different market. Even though the 5090 does have workstation applications, it's still, targeted as an RTX gaming GPU. So NVIDIA doesn't want to have all this success on the data center side, and all of a sudden, gamers and other people like that are complaining that their gaming products are either too expensive or not good enough. So they want to maintain a good image across the board is the point I'm trying to get across. And having a really expensive 5090, even if they can get away with it, they can get away with probably a $3,000 5090. They would just make less of it, but people would still buy it. I'm pretty sure, because I saw people buy 3090s for almost that price during the height of the crypto mining craze. So $1999 is kind of in the middle where I feel that it would come out at. Of course, you could say that even like $17.99 or something like that is possible. Maybe only $100 to $200 more than the 4090, but the third-party AIB GPUs then would be over that price, and maybe NVIDIA won't have as many of the Founders Edition like they did with the 4090. So that's a way to keep that pricing in check while everything else can go up. Obviously, this is going to affect every other GPU in that product stack, like the 5080. How much are people willing to pay for a 5080, for example? It's not the same ceiling as the 5090, because then that GPU is definitely much more gamer-focused. So to conclude, my guess is around $2,000 for this GPU. I think $2,500 is too much. $1,600 seems too little for the type of specs that this is going to be packing, considering how well NVIDIA is doing. But remember, the gaming market's been a little lukewarm. GPU sales have not been, jumping off the shelves like they were before. All right, guys, let me know what you think about the pricing for the 5090. Is it going to be higher than we expect? Maybe in the middle? Or is it going to be maybe cheaper than we expect? That's another surprise. Who knows what NVIDIA will do? Remember to subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video.